human movement as though I was explaining it to a 10-year-old. Have you ever burned your mouth while eating food? Did you pull the hot food away from your mouth or keep chewing? You probably pulled it away, didn't you? Your body was able to pull the food away quickly because your brain and body talk to each other. You have nerves that go through your entire body, so that if something happens, the nerves can send information up to the brain or spinal cord, and the brain or spinal cord can tell the body how to respond. The brain's in your head, and the spinal cord goes down your back and is connected to the brain. You have a control center in your head and spinal cord, and then your arms, hands, legs, and feet all have nerves that can send information to that control center so an action decision can be made. Basically, you feel something, and then your body tells you what action to respond with. So when you burned your mouth while eating, the nerves feel the pain you feel in your mouth and tell the brain that you are in pain. Your brain then tells your body to get rid of what is causing the pain. Since the food is what is causing the pain, your hands pull the food away.
Can you film me? I will be explaining the same things Madison outlined, but to a professor who teaches motor control. Somatosensory information is perceived by the peripheral nervous system, and afferent signals are sent to the central nervous system via the brain and spinal cord to eventually initiate movement. Before movement can be initiated, information must be visually processed through the two anatomical visual systems which act in parallel to process visual information. The ventral visual stream is vision for perception. This stream helps us analyze visual scenes such as color or object features, also known as the what pathway. The other visual stream, the dorsal, is vision for action. In other words, this visual stream's contribution to motor control is that it aids in guided action, the perception of movement, etc., known as the where or how stream. Once external information is visually processed through these streams, the CNS triggers the release of action potentials which propagate along the length of axons to axon terminals, where they stimulate the release of neurotransmitters into the synapse to facilitate movement via excitatory neurotransmitters such as acetylcholine. These functions relate to the concept of open/closed loop control because in both instances all the previous processes must occur to initiate movement. However, with closed loop motor control, there is a two-level hierarchy consisting of the executive command center and the effector, which carries out the command. But in closed loops, the output can be sensed by the peripheral nervous system, and feedback can be sent back to the control center to compare actual motor output with the desired motor output. Open loop control systems are only able to produce output and cannot respond to feedback to change the current motor action to a more desired output.
So I'm explaining this to a friend who has a background in motor control, and I took the approach of explaining a box drum. So within your body, there's CNS and PNS. The CNS is comprised of the brain and spinal cord, where the spinal cord transfers sensory information known as afferent stimuli from the sensory receptors that make up the PNS to the brain, where the information is processed and interpreted within the cortices, and from there the brain decides what to do with the information. For a movement such as a box jump, the eyes receive sensory information and send this information to the primary visual cortex located at the back of the brain. Within this cortex, there are two systems that provide vision for perception and vision for action, the ventral and dorsal stream respectively. The ventral stream provides perceptive information provides perception information of the box, such as the height and color of the box, and the dorsal stream provides information of where the box is in relation to the body and helps visually guided action. From here, the information from both streams is sent to the brain, where it's sent to the primary motor cortex, where there are a pre-programmed set of rules that provide the basis for a decision, such as movement patterns. The brain would recognize that you wanted to jump and would send a schema from the primary motor cortex to the spinal cord and out through the PNS to the motor units of the lower body muscles to cause the necessary production of force to produce a jump onto the box.